A degree audit is a counseling tool designed to assist you and your counselor in planning for the completion of your goal at MiraCosta. Degree audits are currently available for students pursuing an associate degree, a certificate of achievement, a certificate of proficiency, or a high school diploma, and who are following requirements in the 2011 to 2012 college catalog or later. A degree audit contains a list of all the academic requirements for the completion of a degree or certificate at MiraCosta and how you are meeting them. This includes requirements for total units, total major units, residency units, major or certificate, competency, and general education. In the heading of your degree audit, you will see some high-level information about yourself. This includes your officially recorded primary goal at MiraCosta, the general education pattern you are following, and the catalog year you are following. You will only see requirements for your primary goal and area of study. If you need to run an audit for a secondary goal, you can use the What If feature. It is important your primary goal information is correct because it not only affects your degree audit, but it can also affect your financial aid and veterans benefit status. If your goal information is incorrect, you should complete a data change form at the Admissions and Records Office or make an appointment with a counselor to update your goal. In the degree audit heading, you will see your credit career GPA. This is the cumulative grade point average for all classes taken for credit at MiraCosta. This may be different than your degree applicable GPA. Below the header information are the degree requirement and unit progress bars. The requirement progress bar displays what % of the requirements listed in your audit are in progress or complete. Your audit will not show 100% until all requirements are complete and all applicable classes have been graded. The unit progress bar shows what % of total units required for a degree are in progress or completed. Next, you will see the body of the degree audit, the listing of your academic requirements based on your goal. The degree audit is broken up into different requirement blocks indicated by a dark gray heading. If you are pursuing a degree, your first requirement block will be the degree block. This contains the high-level requirements needed for a degree. The major, competency, and general education requirements are more detailed, and each have their own requirement blocks down below. The heading of a requirement block may have a summary of the total units required in the block, the total units applied to the block, and the GPA of those units. To the left of each requirement, a status icon will indicate incomplete, in progress, or completed requirements. Incomplete requirements will display a red and white box, in progress requirements will have a blue and white wave icon, and completed requirements will display a green and white check icon. A requirement is complete when you have met the unit and class minimums. In order for a requirement group to be complete, you must complete any sub-requirements under it. In order for an overall requirement block to be complete, you must have completed all requirement lines within the block. In progress and completed courses that apply to a requirement will be displayed to the right of the requirement title. If you have an incomplete requirement, the requirement will say, "Still needed, : the number of classes or units you still need in order to complete the requirement, then the list of classes you can choose from." In the audit, you may see different ways to complete a set of requirements. Here's an example of the optional CSU requirement, History, Constitution, and American Ideals. This requirement is optional, indicating that it is not going to count against you in regards to the degree audit, but it is recommended. There are two different ways you can complete the History, Constitution, and American Ideals requirement. You can tell because the requirement line says, "Choose from one of the following." When you see wording like this, "Choose from one of the following," this indicates you need to complete one of the following requirements at the next group indentation level. In this case, the next level requirement groups are Option 1 and Option 2. To complete Option 1, the student must choose from two of the following. However, there are only two requirement lines listed below it, therefore, the student must complete both lines. So, the student can either take one class from Group 1 and one class from Group 2 to complete the entire requirement, or the student can just take Political Science 102 to complete the requirement. As you complete the requirement, the alternate options and class lists will no longer appear. Typically, classes may only be used once within a requirement block. For example, you may only use a class once toward your major, but you can use that same class toward a general education requirement. The audit obeys all rules in the college catalog where double counting is allowed and appropriate. While this class counts towards 2 requirements, the units and grade points do not double count in the overall units and GPA. The CSU and IGETC general education patterns follow the valid course taken dates on the assist.org website. A link to assist.org is at the top of the page should you need to reference why a general education course may not be used. Throughout the entire body of the audit, you may see helpful notes and text that communicate additional restrictions on a requirement block, group, or line. The audit is not currently pulling course credit from other schools or AP test credit. You will only see requirements for your major and goal at MiraCosta. This means you will not see requirements for transferring to other colleges. You will also not see course prerequisites listed on the audit, as these are enrollment requirements and not necessarily graduation requirements. While transfer requirements and prerequisites are not listed on your audit, they should be added to your semester-by-semester education plan. At the bottom of your degree audit are various groupings of your classes, referred to as fall-through buckets. Courses not used are classes that did not get used toward any requirements listed above in your audit, but are still degree applicable and are included in the total unit count for a degree. Courses not used do not count toward total units for a certificate. The insufficient grouping will reflect courses that received too low of a grade to apply to any requirements. Not counted will reflect classes that were either withdrawn, are not college level, or that were excluded by repeat or academic renewal. There is also a summary for in-progress courses. Below the fall-through buckets, you will see a summary of notes created by a counselor and any student exceptions that have been entered. Student exceptions include course substitutions, waivers, and changes to units or classes required. These will also appear in the body of the audit right below the requirement they apply to. At the very bottom of the audit is a legend and a disclaimer. If you have questions about the requirements on your audit, the classes you can take to meet requirements, or why classes may or may not be used, you should make an appointment with a counselor to review.